Really quickly about me. I'm a trusted IR global partner. I had a legal career of 25 years. I owned and led a successful law firm for 16 of those. Didn't leave because I was burnt out or stressed out. Left because I wanted to serve people like you in this room around the world. I'm a professional certified coach by the International Coaching Federation, and I coach lawyers who are accomplished seekers. Those folks are, they would tell a friend that they have a coach, and the friend would say, "Why in the world do you need a coach?" Everyone needs a coach. And those people that I coach are ready to take the next step, go to the next level. I don't have it on here, but you can see it in my background. I am also an author. I wrote a law. It's called, I wrote a law. I wrote a book. It's called Break the Law. During our time together today, that QR code is going to be staring you in the face. If you're interested in the book, you want to learn more about it, feel free to scan the QR code. So this is actually my third networking presentation for you all at IR Global. Let's talk about where we've been. We've talked about goal setting and SMART goal frameworks. We're not going to talk about that today. We've done that. If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out. We've talked about developing internal metrics, how you define networking success so that you can track your success over time. We've talked about the importance of conducting an after-action review of your networking opportunities so that you evaluate how you did. It doesn't matter whether or not you got business. What matters is how you performed, how you would evaluate yourself. Those are the places that we've been so far in my series of conversations with you all. Today, we're going to talk about what I consider the most important thing in networking. True networking mastery begins with your mindset. It starts and really ends there. And here's what I mean. You can plug into your AI of choice, whether it's ChatGPT, it's Gemini, any other AI platform. You could plug in a query and ask, what are the top 5 things I need to do to be a successful networker? You can get the tasks, you can get the checklist, you can do all that stuff by leveraging technology. Here's what you can't do by leveraging technology. Change your mindset. You have to work on that yourself. There are no hacks. There are no shortcuts. I had a client yesterday. We weren't talking about networking. We were talking about somebody else or something else. And he said, you know, this is actually the work. I said, well, what do you mean? Like, changing the way I think is the work. I said, yes, that's it. Because you can come up with the things you need to do very easily by rewatching the videos of me, the last 2 presentations, by plugging into ChatGPT and leveraging tech. You can talk to people. You can do all that stuff until you change your mindset and get your mindset right about networking. None of that stuff is going to matter. It's just not going to matter. So true networking mastery begins with your mindset. That's what we're here to talk about today. Here are the goals. Our objectives for our time together today are to shift from transactional tactics to transformational connection. That's what we're all about today. Your takeaways from today could include a boost in your confidence because you own your own networking process. It is yours. There are 40, 50, 60 people in the room right now. Each one of you not only can, but ought to have the thing that works for you. Networking is not a one-size-fits-all. It ought to fit you and who you are, and you will have a step forward in confidence in that space today. You'll have some clarity on what's maybe going on in your head. when you think about networking? Why maybe you get that queasy little bit in your stomach? Why maybe you avoid networking? Why maybe you don't like it? Whatever that means for you, right? You have a bit more clarity on that. Huh. That's what's going on in my head. That's why I feel the way I feel about it. And you'll take the first steps in creating a networking mindset that actually works for you. That's the whole point, right? Yes, I wrote a book, but it's not about additional knowledge in this space for you. It's not about additional knowledge. It's about having a mindset that works for you, switching the frame through which you look at networking. That's what we're about today. I love this quote from Maya Angelou because it is true. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And this, my friends, this quote is what networking is really all about. We believe that networking is a way to get business, and it is. That is the logical end result. That is the lagging indicator for you folks familiar with indicators. Leading indicators come first, lagging indicators come last, of course. If you make the person you are networking with feel like they are the most important person in the world during your conversation with them, they are going to remember you. They are going to like you. They are going to trust you. And they are ultimately going to refer you business. It's inevitable. People forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Networking. Drop in the chat or write on a piece of paper the first thought that comes to mind when you hear the word networking. What is the thing that pops into your head? Drop it in the chat, write it down on a piece of paper, hold on to it, think about it. That's great. Let's see, what do we got? We got fun conversations, nonstop talking, chatting, meeting new people. Awesome. I love it. Helping, connecting. That's great. I love it. Socializing. Uh-oh. Effortless conversation. Queasy. Follow up. Laurel. I talked about that in another video. Follow up, how important follow up is. Yeah. Trust. Awkward. Ooh, I'm uncomfortable. Right. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing those. Great stuff. No matter what you think about networking, you can always think differently about it, right? For those of you who are introverts, you may think that networking is difficult for you. I'm all about it. You may find this hard to believe. I lean more towards introversion than I do towards extroversion. It's kind of, I'm here on a stage talking to you. I go on stages all the time. I speak with people all the time. I skew towards the introverted part of the spectrum. So I see you and I hear you. For those of you who love networking, you're going to get value today. I see you. I hear you. It's important to understand where we're starting from, each of us individually. So the old way of networking is this phrase from sales back in the day, and Alec Baldwin, and you're going to see a clip of Alec Baldwin in a little bit, a young Alec Baldwin. But this concept of always be closing. When I am having a networking conversation, I am in it for the business, and I have to have this always be closing mindset. It doesn't work. It doesn't work in the new environment that we're in. It doesn't work in a cross-generational way. The folks I affectionately refer to as the kids, which is anyone younger than me or a different generation than me. I am a baby boomer. So all y'all who are not baby boomers are the kids to me. But it doesn't work cross-generationally because younger generations, different generations want different things from connection. They crave different things from connection. They want to connect before exchanging business. They want to get to know the person that they're talking with. And so we've gone from always be closing to always be connecting. Let's see if there we go.
We can't hear it, John. Should there be sound?
Yeah, Charlotte, I forgot to do advanced share.
That's
So
all
my
right,
sound didn't
John.
come across. Sorry. I can narrate it for you. Always be closing. A-B-C. Always be closing, right? It's this heavy, heavy thing that Alec Baldwin is urging us to do. Always be closing. That's not what networking is about. It just isn't. If you fear that that's what it's about, don't sweat it, because that's not what it's about. If you lean into that's what it's about, take a step back and really think about it. We're talking about mindset today because your mindset matters. The human operating system is TFAR, T-F-A-R. That's what it is. Thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions, lead to results. That's it. That's it for all of us. It sounds so simple, but it's really challenging sometimes because oftentimes we're not even aware of the thought. It is so quick, it is subconscious, it is there. We go straight to the feeling because as human beings, we feel. I will tell you, when I am anxious, I kind of feel it in my gut, right? You may feel it in your palms, or you may have a tingling, or whatever it is. But we feel the feeling, that physical manifestation of the feeling. And so we focus on that. We focus on our feelings, whether it's, connecting and networking and taking joy from that, or being stressed about networking and worrying about it. We have this feeling that we get, and we blow right past the thought because it's so fast that we don't experience it, or we're not paying attention to it. No matter, it is there. Sometimes when a client will say, well, I don't have a thought, I just have this feeling, we stop our coaching session and I sit with them. We discover the thought, because that thought drives everything. And it's not just me saying this. Scientists say it, psychologists say it. Heck, the keynote speaker, one of the speakers at the Paris conference, the coach who coached golfers, he talked about TFA. He didn't go to the results. He had TFA. That's how we work. And so that's why your mindset around networking matters. It's going to drive everything. Three common mindset traps that many people experience in networking. And you can decide if these apply to you. You can let me know in the chat if there are mindset traps that you have fallen into that aren't listed on here. Would love to hear it. You can write down, if you don't want to share in public, mindsets that you've fallen into that aren't listed here. You can write those down on a pad. It's totally fine, right? Just recognize them. So, number one, imposter syndrome. I don't belong here. I'm here networking with this person who, in IR Global, we have this network of outstanding individuals, world-class people who are at the very top of their game. They have a best in breed mentality, right? They think, yes, we are small, we are mid-size, and we can be better than the big folks, right? They have this mindset. And I doubt myself sometimes. So I don't even belong in the room. I shouldn't be talking to this person. That's imposter syndrome. They won't find me interesting, right? They won't find me interesting. John, I get you're talking about building relationship and having conversation and creating this culture and this alignment but what if I'm boring? I will tell you all, I'm a pretty boring guy. I am routine driven. My wife and my daughter laugh at me constantly because of the routine drivenness of who I am. I'll give you a quick example. I am a sock shoe guy. I put one sock on and one shoe on, and the other sock on and the other shoe on. I always start with my right foot. That is the extent. Some people think it's a diagnosable condition, and it may be, but that is the extent that I'm driven by routine. I'm a pretty boring guy. I can almost guarantee you that all of you in this room are less boring than me. You are interesting people. And that's also part of imposter syndrome. They won't find me interesting. You're interesting. You have a story to tell. Fear of being pushy. Oh, I don't want to, I'm not in sales. I am a lawyer. I'm in finance. I'm in banking. I'm not in sales. I am uncomfortable in this space because it feels like I'm being pushy. You don't have to be pushy. Don't worry about it, right? I'll tell you, don't worry about it. These are some common mindset traps. Does anybody have a mindset trap that's not listed here? Go ahead and drop it. Drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear it. I'm monitoring. I know Charlotte's monitoring the chat as well. If you fall into these, I understand. I see you. If you don't, great. Good for you. You have some stuff that's going on that is holding you back from being the best networker you can be. I can almost promise you that. There are just 3 essential mindsets for networking success. Oh my goodness, John, it sounds so simple. Only 3. That's fantastic. I can adopt those 3. Remember, this is not a checklist, right? This is mindset work. And so there may be a large gap between your current mindset and the essential mindset. There may be a huge gap. There may be a small gap. There's going to be a gap because we can always improve. So there will be a gap in where you are today to where you want to be in the future for your mindset around networking. 3 essential mindsets. Number 1, confidence. You belong in every room you walk into. If you believed that, how would your networking change? If you believed that, how would your networking change? Right now, I don't know if y'all get this around the world. I'm rewatching Ted Lasso, Apple TV. Great stuff. Hopefully you get it because it is fantastic and it is all about the stuff that I do. I love it. But the sign, believe, that's what it's about, right? It really truly is. Whether you're on the pitch or you're in New Orleans in a small networking group for IR Global's upcoming event, and you're talking with someone and you're creating a connection, you belong in the room. And if you believe that you belong in every room that you walk into, you diminish that imposter syndrome quite a bit. So the question that I have for you, and you don't have to share this, write this down, is just this. What's the gap between what I really think and this statement? I belong in every room I walk into. What's the gap? Is it, you want to, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's do a scale of 1 to 10. I love doing those. 10, I believe this 100%. There is zero gap. 1, oh my goodness gracious. I'm in a different postal code from where this statement is. It doesn't matter where you are on that scale. What matters is you identify it and begin to move forward towards, I belong in every room I walk into. 4, yeah, 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 right. Many of us are there. It's totally understandable. It is, you are, just know this, you're not alone. No matter where you are on that scale, you're not the only one out of 8+ billion people on the planet who experiences that. You're just not, right? Number 2, curiosity. Ask better questions, create better relationships. Networking is not about you. That's the beautiful thing about it. That fear, people will not find me interesting. As long as you are interested in others, you will be interesting, right? There are some folks who like to talk about themselves. They're super comfortable with it, and they will do it without much prompting or prodding. We all know folks like that. You may be one, or you may know someone like that. We also know folks who are not great at that. This curiosity works both ways, right? If you are someone who is comfortable in being yourself and sharing yourself, then when you do that, you make the other person more comfortable, right? We mirror each other. We create this trust. And so if you ask better questions, you can create better relationships. I was coaching a in-house counsel at a large global legal tech firm, legal tech company. And they did not like networking. Didn't like it at all because they weren't good at it. And I said, well, what does that mean? I'm not good at it. Well, I'm uncomfortable. Okay. What else does that mean? I'm not good at it. I don't know what to ask. I don't know what questions to ask. And if you've seen or participated in my prior talks, then you know that if you ask me about the weather or my flight when we are together, you're going to have to make a donation to the IR Global charities because that's a terrible question. Those are terrible questions. I don't say that lightly. They're just not, they're not engaging. They're not thought provoking. They are, okay, I'm going to take back terrible. They are lazy. They're lazy questions. If you're a fan of leveraging technology, this is a place that you can leverage technology. Hey, digital assistant, I can't say her name because she'll pop on my screen. I'm an Apple guy, so you know who I'm talking about. Or ChatGPT or whatever. Hey, give me 10 icebreaker questions to ask at a networking event, and you can get as particular as you like. A room full of high performers, a room with mostly attorneys, a room with finance folks. room with bankers. You can get as particular as you want, and you can come up with a list. And this is a way for you to be more comfortable in a networking setting if you're not. If you think, I don't know what to talk about, leverage tech in this space to help you change your mindset around the networking experience. Oh, I've got 5 questions in my pocket, that either literal pocket or proverbial pocket, that are my go-to. If I begin a conversation, I have a go-to question. And it is not, how was your flight? And how about this weather? Right? In New Orleans, I hear we're going to be talking about how hot it is and humid, right? Let's not talk about that. When we're networking, let's ask interesting questions, better questions, because that's the only way to create better relationships. Being interested in others is how you create better relationships. So curiosity is number 2. Number 3, generosity. Give first with no scorecard. I am a big believer in scorecards. I use them with my clients all the time. We track metrics because that creates the feedback loop. In networking, especially at the beginning, no, I'm going to take that back. Throughout the relationship, throughout a networking experience, and throughout the relationship that you have created with your networking partners, it is not about the scorecard. It can't be. Because if we make it about the scorecard, hey, John hasn't sent me any business, I'm not going to send him any business, right? We get into that mindset. And that the mindset then begins to shift how we view the experience. Networking is a generous act. And here's why I say that. You are giving someone who you are getting to know the opportunity to be a hero for their potential clients, their colleagues. You are giving them the opportunity to be a hero. And here's what I mean. If they know about you and they know about what you do and how well you do it, and they trust you, then when a client comes to them and they need someone like you, they have somebody and they become a hero to that client. They could say, oh, I know a person who is a perfect fit. Or I know I've got 3 people who would be great for you. I'm going to give you their 3 names. You contact them and you get to pick the best fit, right? This generosity is what underlies organizations like IR Global. We get together and we are generous with our time and our knowledge with each other. If you are generous in a networking setting and don't have a scorecard, then networking will be a different experience for you. Imagine that. For those who get stressed out about networking, there's no scorecard. Don't worry about it. This is one of the places where that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Give first with no scorecard. So these are the ways that we move. If we view networking as a transactional experience, no matter where you are on that spectrum, a lot of transactional, a little transactional, move towards relational. You're making friends. That's all you're doing. And look, the science says as adults, it's hard to make friends. Kids, it's super easy, right? It's super easy to make friends as a child. It's much more difficult to make friends as an adult, because of the story that we tell ourselves, because of all of the baggage that we bring along with us. I had someone once tell me, human beings, we're great at picking up the rocks and putting them on our back. Oh, I can handle that, or I can do this, or I can do that. We haven't learned to put them down. And so we come in with all these rocks or all this baggage. Move from transactional to relational. Shift number 2. scarcity to abundance. If we have a scarcity mindset, I need John to send me a client. I need more clients. I need more work. I need. That is a scarcity mindset. And I'm here to tell you, I am willing to wager that each and every one of us has been in a conversation with someone who has a scarcity mindset, and we know it. Human beings are very good at identifying, divining, if you will, someone who's in a scarcity place. We're super good at it. Even though if I have a scarcity mindset, I tell myself, well, it's not coming across, right? I'm no one can know, no one can tell. It's just not accurate. We have very good antenna for this stuff. So move from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset. I'm making a connection that is going to serve me and serve them over time. I move from scarcity to abundance. This is about relationships and connection. The third mindset shift is from having an agenda to being curious. Now, I don't mean that you shouldn't set targets for yourself, because I've talked about this, right? Oh, I want to talk to 5 new people. That's important, but that is not the agenda that I'm talking about. The agenda that I'm talking about is I have to get clients. That's the agenda I'm talking about. You ought to have metrics that you measure your success by in your networking activities. Go back and watch the videos. And you ought not have an agenda during the conversation. Again, I'm going to go back to Ted Lasso. Be curious, not judgmental, right? Be curious. Not that we judge in networking context, but be curious. Get into that curiosity space. You should be, I'm going to take that back. You shouldn't be anything that you ought not, that you don't want to be. I think you're best served by being the most curious person in the room at any networking event. And look, if each one of you tries to be and has the goal of being the most curious person in the room, think about the conversations that are going to be had in New Orleans. If your goal is to be the most curious person in the room, there is not going to be one question about the flight. There's not going to be one question about the weather. Be curious. Think about the conversations that you could be involved in if your goal was to be the most curious person in the room. Oh my goodness. It makes my heart swell. Literally. I can feel it because it's such a wonderful experience. If you work with me, you will know that I'm a big fan of challenges. Typically, I will give my clients a drop and give me 50. I think I did this on a in a prior session. I think I did a drop and give me challenge, right? Here, it's just going to be 3. And I want you to do this right here, right now. Don't put it off, right? Think of 3 people in your network that you already know who you could introduce to someone else in your network. Hey, Jerry and Lynn, they're both great people. They're kind of in the same space. Although there's a bit of overlap, they operate differently. I think I want to make a connection for them. Think about that. Think about someone in your network who you could share a resource with today when we end the call. Well, if you're in, I think, India, and it's coming up on 10 p.m., maybe 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you don't have to do it tonight. Everybody else, think about doing it. Share a resource. Oh, I've got this thing that I think John would be interested. Just put it out there. It's okay. No big deal. You've already got it. You're not creating something, it's already there. Number 3, and this is a big one, someone in your network who you can offer encouragement or recognition to. Who have you been thinking about? Man, they're killing it. They're doing a great job. Or, you know, last time I talked to them, they were a bit down. They're struggling a little bit. I'm going to reach out to them and just offer some encouragement. Hey, look, if you've been there, I've been there, right? Empathy, so important. Or recognition. Hey, you're doing a great job. I just want you to know you did a great job for the client that I referred to you. Thank you. You did fantastic, right? Think about those three people in your network. They ought to be different people. So introduce to someone, hey, Beth, uh, I'm going to introduce her to Jasmine. Share a resource with. I've got this article that I read that I think, Joe would be interested in. Or offer recognition or encouragement. You know, Javier's killing it. And so I'm going to reach out to him and say, hey, I just want you to know you're doing a great job. I know that there are sections in IR Global, right? I'm a trusted partner. I know that there are sections. If you think your section lead is doing a great job, I will tell you they don't hear that enough. Reach out to them. Say, hey, you're doing a great job. If someone at IR has helped you recently or has done something for you recently or, you know, whatever, reach out to them. They don't hear it enough. And I know this because we don't hear it enough, right? We're in this environment where the things that get broadcast and the things that get said are the complaints. Be the person from a networking perspective, from a mindset perspective, who reaches out to Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte, you're killing it. Thank you so much for getting on the call early today with me, for making sure the tech works. I know that you are very, very busy. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I really do appreciate it. Do that. Drop and give me 3. Hopefully you've written those names down right now. And this is being recorded. So if you forget what you need to do, you can come back and watch the recording. No problem. Every time you meet someone, you're either adding to your credibility or taking away from it. That is just the truth. Be the type of networker who adds to your credibility by asking interesting questions, by being curious, by not having an agenda, by wanting to learn about people. That's what it's all about. That makes us feel good. Well, they cared about me. They saw me, right? We hear this all the time. I feel seen. The way you feel seen is when somebody is interested in you. It's actually quite simple at the end of the day. So every time you meet someone, you're either adding to your credibility or you're taking away from it. We have some time for Q&A. I'm going to come off of screen share so I can see you all. Now remember, Charlotte threatened you. Well, I motivated you, not threatened, right? Nope, there are no threats. This is a safe space.
Safe space, but they all know that I will pick on them.
If you have questions, if you want to share an experience, this is the time to do it. We have a room of 48, of 45, 44. People are dropping off. They're dropping like flies. Don't leave me, people. Don't leave. This is some of the best part because you get to leverage the expertise in the room, not just me, but everybody in the room has expertise. So you can, and just come off of mute and share or ask. Anybody have any questions or something that they want to share?
Thank you for a great session. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
that's Louise.
You're welcome. Louise, yes, I see you. You're very welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. About icebreakers, you said something about the top 5 icebreakers, I think. What's your number 1 icebreaker?
Yeah, it really depends on the room I'm in. And it depends if it's an international audience. And here's what I mean. One of my really comfortable ones, is tell me something interesting that's on your desk. That's a very comfortable, it just kind of flows. I've used it 1,000 times. For folks who have English as a second language, sometimes they will describe a photograph or a trophy or a pen, a thing that is actually on their desk. And number one, I think it's wonderful because it's a great reminder to me that not everyone understands language the same way, which is fantastic from a communications reminder. And it gives me an insight into how they're thinking just in the moment. Another one that I really like is tell me something exciting that you did this past weekend. I like that one. I like share something with me that's not on your LinkedIn, your IR Global, your Facebook, anywhere out there in the world. Share something with me about yourself that you're comfortable sharing, of course. I'd love to know something that's not on your social media about you. That gives you insight to them. So there are 3 for you all. Use them, don't use them. It has to be authentic to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the question.
And
Who
just
else?
don't ask about the weather, especially if you're British.
Do not ask about the weather. Do not ask about how the flight was.
Rob's got a question for you, John.
Yeah, Rob, go ahead.
So the scarcity moving to abundance, it's not a particularly a problem that I have, but there are people in my sphere where I have leadership responsibility that suffer from that. So what are some tools that you could use to kind of help move other, because in me it's kind of innate. I don't know what I'm doing to not think that way, but what would help other people move in that direction?
You tried to short circuit the coach in me and saying, in me, it's innate. I don't actually know what I'm doing to make me have an abundant mindset.
And how was your flight, by the way? I'm really going to screw it up.
Well, I didn't fly where I am. I'm actually in my van, but that's a whole nother story, which is actually quite interesting. Rob, let me ask you this. How does having an abundant mindset serve you in a networking context?
Yeah, I really liked what you said earlier about being generous. If you're focused on others, it's a long-term game. I think if it's a game at all, it's a long-term game. It's like, I'm more interested in you. It may never work out for me, but being interested in you, it has returns, right? It has, I don't know if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. There are no wrong answers with me either. There's another
Okay.
insight into my coaching. There are no wrong answers because everything gives me insight. So what you just said is a wonderful tool to use for people who have a scarcity mindset. For anyone who has a scarcity mindset, the spotlight is on them. Their spotlight is on them and their needs, their perceived needs. When we take the spotlight off of us and we put it on somebody else, the scarcity, I won't say it goes away, but it diminishes. We move closer to an abundant mindset. So for the folks around you who may have a scarcity mindset, that's perfect. It's a perfect thing because you've lived it. Oh, well, what I do is I take the spotlight off of me. I don't think about me. I think about the person either, sitting across the table from me or standing next to me or whatever it is. I think about them. If we're thinking about them, the scarcity goes away or is diminished.
Excellent. Thank you.
Is that helpful?
Super helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. Love it. You're welcome. Jeff, your hand is up.
Thank you. And you can hear me, right?
I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. I just always want to make sure. So the issue I always have at networking events is I walk into a room, everybody's all talking to everybody else. There's nobody just standing by themselves. What is your best recommendation to help people break into conversations in a way that is well, it's never going to be comfortable for me, but more comfortable.
Fantastic, Jeff. Thank you. What a great question. And yeah, right. Here's the thing. This discomfort with entering an established circle has been with us since we were on the playground in elementary school or whatever, whatever that school is called that you went to when we were kids, right? Oh, there's a group over there. I'm super uncomfortable going into it. That has carried with us into the time that we're really successful adults. It's still there, right? And so here's number one, how I might recommend that you do it. And I recommend that you leverage technology for this too. Plug the question into your favorite AI chatbot and see what they come up with. I call my chatbot Ken, by the way, because it's more like a they than an it to me. But you can walk up and just be there. It's okay. Someone in that group is going to recognize you and say, you know what? That's very brave. I would not have done that. I wouldn't have walked into the group. That's super brave. I want to talk to that person. Just by your act of doing it, you are showing a bit of who you are, if we think about it that way. Does that help at all? Don't see.
There we go.
Oh.
Yep. Sorry,
Oh.
I had it muted again. It does, and that's generally what I do. Is I walk up and kind of start listening and slowly start entering the conversation. But
Yep.
but it's always really uncomfortable, and I figured I would ask and see if there's anything else you recommend.
That's a human condition. It's uncomfortable because you're a human being.
Yeah.
And this comes back from, hundreds of thousands of years ago. It's like public speaking. People are more fearful of public speaking than they are of snakes. It's a human condition. So be uncomfortable, move through the discomfort, kind of show who you are a little bit. And tag into the conversation. And don't ask about their flight or the weather. Ask an interesting question, right? All right.
Do you like your glass of wine? Would that work?
Yeah. Anybody need a glass? Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
How's the wine?
I was joking, but yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
You're good. I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, but I'm going to give it a shot. Ashwa.
It's Aishwarya.
Ashwa. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think my question was around, post the networking. So, once we've made the connect, the challenge is how to maintain that relationship, right? Because we usually just say probably share our, we ask a few questions and then we share, cards, visiting cards, and then we end it there. Maybe we'll add them on LinkedIn, probably post the conversation, we share details about our organization to them. But then after that, maybe we can send in, season's greetings or send in articles. And like you said, even the Give 3 challenge, right? Compliment them on something new. But how else can we sort of maintain that relationship, going forward, say, in the next few years?
Yeah, that's a great question. And at IR Global, you don't have to write things down, right? You're able to scan badges and get who you are connecting with. So don't forget, when you're in New Orleans or in Berlin in the autumn, scan the people, leverage the tech. How do you keep in touch with friends who are not everyday friends, who are friends that maybe you see or speak with occasionally? How do you do that?
Probably ask them how they are, and but with clients, I think, or with not clients, with that network, with people who we meet at such events, we probably hesitate to sort of do that, so to probably just WhatsApp them, or we may not have that relation with them.
Yeah, and that is your mindset. That's the story that you're telling yourself. Oh, it will be weird or odd if I reach out to them out of the blue and say, hey, you know what, John? I was thinking about you the other day. I just wanted to let you know I hope everything's going great. That seems very odd. Why is it odd? I do that all the time. I do it all the time. I was thinking about you because that is the truth. Something came up and they flashed through my mind. And I was like, oh, it's been a long time. And we let that it's been a long time get in our way too. Oh, it's been too long. They're not going to remember who I am. All of the stories that we tell ourselves that stop us from reaching out, they are just stories that we tell ourselves. It's not the reality. It's not the truth. Everybody is happy to hear from someone who they haven't heard from in a long time. That I think that is a universal truth. So I would say treat them like you would treat a friend, do those things, and change your mindset around it. It's change the way you think about it from a this is weird to actually, if I heard from somebody after a long time, I would think it's quite nice. Why isn't it the same? Why isn't it the same? Is that helpful?
Yes, that was helpful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Laurel, what can I do for you?
Good. So first of
There
all,
you go.
John, I want to tell you you're spectacular, and every single sentence out of your mouth is something that we can learn from, and it's practical, and you give us pointers, so there's no excuses for us not to change our mindset today. So thank you very much for your time. That's number one and huge. Number two is, Jeff, I know that John will, I'm just kind of testing this one. I am one of those shy people, and so when I see that group there, I actually break in. I mean, usually the hard part about breaking into the group is they're shoulder to shoulder. So I just kind of put my arms there and say, hey, guys, or gals, or whatever. Hey, folks, it looks like this is a great conversation. What are you talking about? All right. And then just let them bring me into the conversation. And I don't know if that's too forward. It's very uncomfortable for me, but nobody, I don't think, knows that because I do it with a big smile and a lot of energy. But the fact is that that's the only way I think you can break into a group if they're like in a group tight and tightly. So what I wanted to ask John is that you have said about on your way to abundance, scarcity to abundance. So I'm always sure to ask somebody I'm talking to, what can I do for you? You know, what is it? Where are you going? How can I help? What can I do? If they then are reciprocal and they ask me, that makes it easy. I mean, we are in IR and we are talking about referrals and trying to connect about what we do and can do for each other. But if they don't ask back, I ask. I just say, you know, I represent senior level executives. And, you know, if you're thinking about somebody who's in transition and needs some advice or is looking at an offer or whatever, you know, think about me, please, you know, is the way I do it. But that might be too pushy.
No, Laurel, it's you. You just have to be you. As I said at the top, there is no one size fits all here. It is authentic to you, and you are being authentic to you. And that is a wonderful way to end a networking conversation. How can I support you? If you want that question to have to end a conversation, how can I support you? People love to hear that. Hoob, you're walking, hop on. We are getting close to time, Charlotte. I see it.
Yeah. You spoke about the difference in mindset between generations and how the older generation sees networking as having to have a direct payoff. We have a partner like that in our firm, who every time we go to some networking event, he's always, the first thing he asks when we get back is, okay, how many new clients do you have? And it's like always like, it's always like, it feels like he means it as a joke, and it also doesn't. And I'm wondering if you have any tips about how we could go about changing his mindset, other than forcing him to watch the video of this.
Well, you can't force someone to change their mindset. They have to want to. And so, first of all, kudos to you for being out, getting your exercise and learning. That is awesome multitasking. It's one of the only ways that we can multitask. So good on you. I would have a different conversation about the kind of the long game that we play in networking. Look, it's not going to pay today. It's maybe not going to pay tomorrow, but I believe in the process and I trust in the process. It is different generationally, and you can also have that conversation. Look, the different generations crave connection before they will send business. That's just how it is now. It's no different from we used to type with carbon paper. Yes, I'm that old. Or dial a telephone. Yes, I'm that old. And now we use computers and word processor and all. It's just the natural progression. That's the conversation that I would have.